What's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Hardcore Challenge Mode series. We're picking right back up where we left off at, pulling back onto our farm here, if you can even call it that. So where we left off on the first episode is we're sitting at $4,000 right now. We need to cut down at least one more tree, get one more load hauled to the sawmill, and once the clock hits 2 o'clock, so another 6 minutes, we'll be able to do another deadwood and rock removal contract. We're still waiting on the house to be built here, so it does look like it's made it through the first stage. We've got some little bit of foundation work done here. We've got 700 liters left to process before it gets to the next stage, so we'll check back in on that in a little bit. I think the first task for today is to go ahead and cut at least one more tree down and get that loaded and took to the sawmill, and by the time we finish that, we'll have a set of contracts ready to go for us. We'll go knock those out also, and we'll roll right into this. I think the goal for today's episode is going to be to finish the house. You know, I know we said that was the goal for the first episode, but it ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated. So today's goal is definitely to get the house finished, get our first tractor and a couple pieces of equipment. So that way we can start taking on some more variety of contracts and hopefully start working towards getting some of this cleared out. And it's probably going to be a little while before we get our own field going, but you know, a good start will be getting the trees down, and then at some point we'll have to buy a stump grinder and a plow, and we can start doing a little bit of work here, because I don't think this piece of land is going to be our forever home. This is where we're starting, but I don't see it lasting a long period of time. We're going to end up building a bigger house, putting some sheds down, and you know, making a nice homestead. But I think for now this will do good for us, get us started, and I'm gonna go ahead and get some work done, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we've got this thing loaded up. I wanted to jump in here on the mic for a few minutes before we go drop this off and take on those contracts. So I did realize after uploading that first episode that there were some pretty bad quality issues that came from how it was exported. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it until it was already uploaded and going. So any of you that have came from episode 1 to here, hopefully this one turns out to be a lot better, and we're going to continue to try and get things better and better. I'm also still trying to test out some different mic settings and hopefully have a new one coming soon, but I'm not as concerned with the mic as I was with all the tearing and pixelated footage that came out on that first episode. I was pretty disappointed going back and rewatching it after it released. And all of you that came from episode 1 to here, I appreciate you sticking it out and hanging in there with me, so hopefully I can start to provide something a lot better than that. But with that being said, let's go deliver this load of wood really quick. I'm gonna jump back into a time lapse for a second. I'm gonna drop this off. We'll go knock out a dead wood and a rock crushing really quick. And we should be able to meet back up at the store and buy that tractor. See how it looks. See if we can get it back to the farm. I want to take a look at this field on the map and see what kind of cost it is, because it's really small. That might actually be something that's manageable for us, you know, before we get too far in. Oh wow, it's still 65,000. What about number 2 down here, 61,000? Okay, never mind. I don't think we'll be buying that anytime soon. It just looked really small in person, so I thought maybe it would have a fairly cheap price tag. Alright, we got that knocked out now. We're pulling back up into town. I hope nobody saw that just a minute ago, right after I finished crushing the rocks on that contract, but I backed the truck right into that tree. I'm glad we don't have damage or anything, because I would have smashed that bumper. But let's pop into the store real quick. Oh, first, I always forget, we gotta complete our contracts. Yep, collect that one and collect that one. Now we have 8,400, so we can go into the store, small tractors, and we can buy our nice little 710. So what kind of options do we have here? Got wide tires, weights, twins. Just gonna go standard. Got a couple different fender options. I kind of like the black. Yeah, I think we're just gonna leave everything default. Green and yellow, of course. Gotta leave it like that. Alright, it's ours now. We've got our first tractor. Now the question is, how are we gonna get it home? I wonder. First, let's go. We're gonna drive it. I wonder if this map has the AI roads built into it. If that's the case, we'll be able to hire a worker to drive the truck back for us. Let's give that a shot really quick. Let's go to our map. Workers. Create job, go to, and give him a destination of right here. Is it gonna work? Says it's blocked by an object. Alright. Let's see if we can help it out a little bit. Try it again. Create job, go to destination, still set. This might be an issue. Wonder if it's a map problem or if it, you know what it might be? It shouldn't be the jackhammer in the back. I wonder, let's try and send the tractor then. So if we do this one, create a destination here. Will he do it? Well, that one's moving. That's promising. Alright, so we do have a way to move vehicles. Potentially. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna drive along and follow it here. See, make sure it gets there safely. We just spent all of our hard-earned money on that, and we don't even get to drive it home because we can't get anybody to drive the truck. So it looks like the road networks are set up. So that's actually going to be a lot of help. Now, once we start doing some field work contracts, we'll be able to send a worker to take the vehicle and then to also do the contract and come back, since since we can't teleport at all and tab between vehicles. Either that, or the only real other option we have is to get a trailer, and then we just trailer the tractor and equipment to wherever it needs to go and hire a worker from there, or do it ourselves. But I mean, if we're going to do it ourselves, we might as well just drive and then drive back. It is nice to know that the road networks are set up, though. That's actually really helpful. You know what, though? I don't really know why we're bringing the tractor all the way home. We can't use it for anything until we at least get one attachment to go on it, but it will look good sitting in the driveway, so I guess there's that. I'm also I kind of had the idea a minute ago. I need to look at the price. I'm wondering if it would be worth it to go ahead and buy one of the small sawmills to place on our land, to go ahead and start processing some of the logs that we have instead of taking them all to the sawmill. I know we don't have a way to haul pallets right now, but we could go ahead and get it processing some, because it takes a while to stock up on pallets anyway. So hopefully by the time it has a few pallets stacked up, we'll have a way to pick them up and take them to the sell point. That's kind of an option we have that we could try and go for. I think the first thing's still going to be getting either a sprayer or a weeder for the tractor, so we can take on some of those contracts, start making even more money each day. Once the house is built, I'm not going to be sitting around waiting an hour at a time for these contracts to renew. It'll probably be, we might do a tree or two off of our property, do our deadwood, rock crushing contracts, and whatever contracts that we have the equipment for. And once we've kind of completed everything we can do for that day, we'll just go ahead and go to sleep, pass forward to the next day, and kind of repeat that process. So let's take a look really quick at contracts again. I know we did in the last episode, but I don't really remember what all we had. So still same contract. So we got fertilizing, which we said we don't really want to do as a first option since you have to buy the fertilizer. We don't have a way to do any harvesting. We could get a small hoe, take on the hoeing contract, or potentially we could get a sprayer. There's one mowing contract, one plowing contract, and then with that, if we did buy the sprayer, we could do these spraying fertilizers. This one's for removing, they're for removing weeds. So we could potentially do the weed removal, spraying, and irrigation contracts with that one piece of equipment. So that might be what we go for first. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead. We got another 34 minutes before we can take on another contract. Hey, looks like we've got another stage of our house done. We got some floor joists in now, so that's looking good. Gonna be got 880 liters for the next stage to be processed. So hopefully within the next hour or so, we'll see that one be done also. Coming along pretty good though. Let's take a look in the store while we're talking about the different contracts that we can do. So where is our sprayers at? Right here. So it looks like the cheapest base game one is 30,000. Might have to take a little peek around on the mod hub, see what else is available. But as of right now, that's the cheapest one we can get. Got a working width of 24 meters, so that's pretty huge. So hopefully somebody's made a smaller one, cheaper one, something more budget friendly for a small farm. Other than that, we said we could do possibly the hoeing contract, which would be under weeders. So that one is a weeder, that one's a hoe. There we go, weeder. Both of those are weeders, and I can never remember which way it goes. If you can, I think you can use hoes on weeding contracts, but you can't use weeders on hoe contracts, something like that. I don't know. I don't want to guess and get it wrong. So we'll probably just stick with which one it's actually made for. But either way, that's an option we could potentially look into. I think we have a small plow in here too. Yeah, we've got a couple really small plows, only half a meter wide. That one's 2 meters wide. It says it needs 88 horsepower. That one's 0.8, 30 horsepower, so we could definitely do that one. Yeah, we can't do that one. So we might, 0.8 meter working width though. That is so small. But it's only $1,200. I think since we're going to be waiting for a while anyway, and this one is so cheap, I'm going to do one more small load of logs to the sawmill. We'll buy this, and then we'll just let a worker do that one plowing contract while we wait for more contracts to renew. I think that's the plan. Let's go back and see how big was that field and how much did it pay. So number 2, so that's the small field we were looking at a few minutes ago, but the one beside it that we drove by on the way up there, $2,200 to plow that field. The plow only cost $1,200, so we're going to be waiting for contracts to renew anyway, so even if it takes an hour for the worker to do it, we'll still be making profit on that moving forward. So I think we're going to lock it in, go ahead and accept that contract, and finish loading up the rest of this small tree, and hopefully that'll get us enough in the bank to go ahead and go pick up that plow. Yep, we'll give that a shot, see how it goes. Walk right in front of the truck. Alright, let's see how much this will sell for. I forgot to say in that last clip, the small load we brought up here during that last time lapse, if it didn't show up on screen good, it sold for, I think it was right at 700. Yeah, this one was 781. That I think that was a Scotch pine tree. That one didn't sell for nowhere near as much as that lodgepole pine we did on the first couple trips. That tree was worth a lot more than this one was. Alright, so let's go back into our plow category. We had this one picked out, which was 0.8 meters. Yep. Let's take a look at it. No options available on it. Just a tiny little 2-row plow, huh? Alright, I'm gonna go drop the truck off, get the tractor, go pick this thing up, drive back to the field that we're gonna do it on, and we'll give this thing a little test, see how it's gonna do. Alright, here's where our job is. Let's see what kind of challenge I've got myself into with this little thing. The little plow fits this tractor good though. Let's go down to the other end. So I think we'll do one pass ourselves just to see how it feels as far as the power goes and what kind of speed it'll be able to do. I think we only have 50 horsepower and this thing says it required 88, so we are a little underpowered, which, you know, isn't the end of the world. It happens, and it'll still let you use it, but it might be kind of slow. So drop this down, and well, that's not bad at all. Just rolling on 6 miles an hour. Not very wide at all, but you know, it's going to get the job done, that's for sure. I really should have had a worker drive this up here and then me come up here in the truck, because now if I want to go cut a tree or do anything while this worker's doing its job, I'm gonna have to run all the way back across the map. That doesn't sound very exciting, but it is what it is. That's the life we chose, right? Alright, nice. Hopefully that $391 will be enough to pay for this job. Let's see. I kind of want to see how long it's going to take a worker to do it and how much it's going to cost. That way we know how much of our profit we're going to be eating up paying workers to do some of these jobs with this real small equipment. Let's do number of 8 headlands. Okay. That seems excessive, but that's as low as it'll let me go. Work the headlands. Yeah, start with the up downs. Okay. Yeah, we'll let that roll. Alright, we're gonna let this run for a little while. We're at $391 at the start of this worker, and we're gonna see how much money, if any, we got left at the end of it. Hopefully it'll be alright. But I'll see you back here in a few. Alright, so I walked away for a few minutes while this worker was going, and I think we learned the hard way that we're not going to be able to use hired workers for a while. In the course of about 12, 13 minutes after going back and looking at the footage, we went from $391 all the way down to 0. So it looks like I'm going to be doing the rest of this field myself, and I don't get to be lazy anymore. It's, you know, it is what it is. We're supposed to be grinding this out, doing it start from nothing, and every dollar counts. So maybe I shouldn't have been trying to be lazy and use a worker, but I thought it would help a little bit. Here we are now, though, doing it ourselves. Anyway, I'm gonna continue on, get this knocked out, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Pulling back up to the house now. We finally got that field finished plowing. Also went ahead and did a round of contracts, another deadwood and rock crushing. So let's get this thing parked up right here and take a look at how the house is coming along. I don't know what stage we're on right now, but it looks like we got some walls up, the roof being built. It looks like we're going to be running out of wood soon though, so I think we need to go ahead and take a break and get some more wood put into this thing before it runs out. But while we're here, let's go ahead and accept all 3 of these contracts since we're sitting on 0 right now and see where that puts us back up to. We'll take that one, and that one. That puts us back up to 5,300. And we just hit 4 o'clock in the afternoon too, so we should have another round. Oh, I think since we waited till after 4 to complete those deadwood and rock crushing ones, it didn't give us new ones for this hour. That's okay. Kind of want to take a break, at least for a little while, from doing those over and over again. Looks like we got a good mowing contract here, if we can get a cheap mower somehow. We got, of course, the irrigation we talked about before. Same thing we were looking at earlier. So what to do next? Let's take a look in the store really quick. See how much a cheap mower is, if that's even an option for us. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like we'll be getting a mower anytime soon. Cheapest one that we have right now, unless I go get something off the mod hub, is the base game 3-meter wide for 13,500. So we're still a little ways off from there. But let's go ahead and I wonder if I can drop another tree straight onto this point here. I bet I can get that one to land here. Let's see how good my aim is. We're gonna walk straight to it from here. And as long as we can land it right in that zone. Right here. Let's see if I got it right. If we can land it right in that zone, we can input it without having to chop anything up. Oh, don't hit my house. I think we nailed it. We might have hit the, yeah, we hit the equipment a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of brush hit it, but that's okay. It does not look like I got it close enough though. Let me turn my trigger on here. Oh, there it is. Nope. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut this one up anyway. Yeah, let me do that really quick. Alright, there we go. We got a little over, maybe half of it loaded in there. Let's see how much that is. That puts us at 4,000 still in storage. So I don't know how much we still need to be able to complete this. So I don't want to throw in too much because I don't know if, you know, I doubt it's going to give it back, or I'm not sure how that works, or if, you know, it won't let you put too much in. So either way, we'll save the rest of that tree in case we need it. If we start seeing it get low again, we'll add some more. For now though, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I'm not seeing any of the real good trees left. What are these ones? We got a lot of money for that one. I think it was a lodgepole pine, the first one we cut down. All of these are Scotch pines, which They were decent money too, but nothing like that first one. I don't know. Maybe that's one back there in the back. This one looks the same. Yeah, it is. I don't really want to mess with the real big ones. Hmm. What is that? That looks different. Nope, that's the same. Yeah, it looks like that's all we've got left now, which is okay. I don't think there's any contracts we can do right now unless it refreshed since the last time we looked, but I don't think it will. So it looks like we missed out on an hour's worth of deadwood and rock crushing, unfortunately. So we're kind of stuck unless we want to cut a couple of our own trees here. We got 5,300. I don't really think there's anything we could, there's nothing we can buy. Oh man, I know I've looked at this 5 times. Let me just scratch my head here for a second and see if I can come up with anything. Did we did we look at sprayers already? If we did, I don't remember. Sprayers, yeah. Hmm. Let me let me pop out for just a second, take a peek at the mod hub and see if maybe there's something we can do to get a little bit more progress moving here. Maybe if we can get a old cheap mower or some type of small sprayer that'll fit good on our little tractor here. Because I mean, let's be honest, all of the base game equipment's probably going to be too big for this thing anyway. So let me take a look and see what we can find. Alright, so I did find some nice older equipment. Take a look in the store here. We'll look at sprayers first. So we found, oh, it's 2 different versions. That's nice. So this one's only 400 liters with a 4 meter working width. This one is also 400 liters with a 6.5 to 11 working width, but it's 2,500. I don't know. I don't know how much water we're going to need for these irrigation contracts. I've never done this realistic weather stuff, but I think it's definitely worth a try. And, you know, for 2,500, we're going to go ahead and go for the bigger one and just see if it works. Hopefully it does. I don't know if there's any water sources available on the map. We might have to place down a little faucet or something. I mean, 6.5 meters is pretty good. We'll leave it at that. That's pretty good for the small tractor we're working with anyway. Alright guys, this is me jumping in from the future here in a second. So I attempted to use this sprayer 2 times, and both times we ended up having some issues with the game locking up and then crashing on me. So the game save reset me back to this point right here, where right after we purchased it. I believe it's some type of mod conflict with this specific sprayer and maybe the realistic weather or the irrigation contracts in general. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but at this point, I'm gonna have to go ahead and sell this sprayer that we bought. If I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so where is it? Yep, this right here. 2,100. So we lost like $400 on this, but I'm gonna back out, delete this mod. We're gonna jump back in and decide a different route to go. Okay, we're back in the game now. I was not able to find any other small, older style sprayers on the mod hub, so we're kind of stuck not being able to do that for a little while longer. Hopefully we don't run into any more issues when we do get to that point of using one of the base game sprayers. What I did find while I was out there, though, was some mowers. So we do have, we go in here, we have a couple different options. We've got this little double bar mower for 5,000. It says it needs 60 horsepower, and we got a 2.1 meter or 4 meter working width. We've got this one for 3,200, 2 meter width, and we've got this little real old school looking one for 2,500 with a 1.8. I think that one says it takes 80 horsepower though. These ones take less. I think let's try and save what money we do have, which, you know, we're under 5,000, so we couldn't buy that one anyway. So let's go ahead and do this one, and we'll take that mowing contract and see if we can get it knocked out. So if we open up here, go back to our contracts again, mowing, so 3,700 for that one contract. That's the field right beside us. So we got to run up to the shop, grab the mower, come back, knock it out, and hopefully get a pretty good paycheck from that one. By the time we do that, I'm thinking it'll probably take at least 30 minutes or so. We'll probably have another round of contracts ready for us. So let's get this started, see how this one goes. Hopefully better than what I was dealing with before. Alright, we've made it back. Let's test this thing out. The mower's a little bit oversized for this tractor, but nothing too crazy. See, we got it on, lowered down. Yep. Gotta find where the edge of the field starts. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this thing is a little bit oversized for this tractor, but nothing too crazy. I did have to drive with it lowered down, keep the front wheels on the ground because they kept wanting to pick up and ride a wheelie on us, but we can make it work. It's probably not going to be too fast, but we'll get through, and we'll meet you back at the end of this one. Pulling back up to the farm now. We got done with that mowing contract right at 5 o'clock, so went ahead and knocked out another deadwood and rock crushing contract. I will say, before we do any more mowing contracts, we're going to have to upgrade to the wheel weights on that tractor, because that was like trying to ride a bull with that thing sliding around, riding wheelies and everything like that. It was definitely not as good as I thought it would be, but we should have 3 contracts right here ready to complete. 1,500 for the deadwood, 3,700 for the mowing, and 2,200 for the rock removal. So that puts us up to 9,000 now. Let's walk over here, take a look at the house, see if anything's happened. Looks like it's still at the same stage. It's got another 100 liters to process before it moves on to the next stage. I'm hoping we're almost done, because I'm gonna say another hour or maybe 2 it's gonna start getting dark on us, and I'm ready to call it for this first day, honestly. Old Shaggy here, he's had a hard day's work. You know, he drove into town, I think it was 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Now here it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Done a bunch of contracts, made a bunch of money. Everything seems to be going pretty well so far. $9,000 though. What can we do with 9,000? I think we might end up, you know, trying to upgrade the tractor instead of doing the wheel weight. So while we sit here for a second, let's take a look back in here at the tractors. If we could go straight up to the next best thing, that'd be even better than trying to fight with that one for much longer. We could go we could go up to a 40 series, 4,000 series. It doesn't look like it's that much bigger. I wish I could see them side by side. It probably is though. I mean, it's 80 horsepower where I think ours is 50. And that is upgradable, so we can go 101. Yeah, we go up to the 4020, that'd be 101 horsepower. Other than that, I think the base game 3650 for 45,000 it's always a really good deal. I mean, that's just anybody doing a start from scratch. If you're not using a lot of modded equipment, this is your go-to right here. It'll last you a good little while, but we might just hold off. You know, we're not going to buy anything right now. Once we start sleeping through some days, we'll see some stuff pop up in the used market, hopefully, and we'll be able to get something through there. At this point, though, I don't think there's anything else we can do unless we wanted to buy more equipment. You know, we could buy a cultivator, do that same field we just mowed. We could get a fertilizer. I mean, there are some good fertilizer contracts, but you spend so much money on the fertilizer itself. You end up making some money, but not a lot. Not a lot, that's for sure. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to sit here and wait a little bit. I could go ahead and chop a couple trees, but I think we're just gonna let time pass. Let's see, we got down to 40 liters on that one. I think I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna wait maybe about an hour or so. Just let the game run, see how far along the house comes, and we'll maybe come up with a different plan and go from there. Alright, it's been about an hour sitting here. It looks like we went through 2 stages of the construction so far. I wanted to sit here and wait until it was completely done to call it the end of the episode, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer. So that being said, I think we're going to end the episode here. I feel like we got quite a bit done. We ran into a few issues along the way, but I will continue to let this run. That way when we start the next episode, we'll have a house ready to go for us, and we'll start that one off with being able to sleep for the first time and move forward through the months of the year. I'm not going to do any other contracts or anything off camera. I'm just going to let the game run, let this house finish out, and I'll see you all in the next one.